So it's another slow week here at the Pendulum as we're leading into the New York Comic Con this weekend. Stay tuned, we got some on-the-spot comic reviews and a whole lot more.
Popping off around here today.
Alright, so a fair-sized week for books, not as small as the previous weeks. And today...
Marvel had a lot.
Yeah, on-the-spot comic reviews, just came from the store. We both have number ones. Woo! My number one issue is Afterlife with Archie. New horror title, of all things, from Archie Comics.
This is an ongoing book?
It is an ongoing comic book.
Not just a themed thing.
4 different covers. They're all pretty cool. One kind of gives it away a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about it because it's just so awesome. But it's got art by Francesco Francavilla, who does The Black Beetle and many other wonderful comics, including an upcoming issue of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
And it's written by Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, who did the Marvel Knights Fantastic Four book, I want to say. Anyways, good story. It starts off with Jughead showing up at Sabrina the Teenage Witch's house.
Oh god, what?
Holding his dog, Hot Dog. Remember Hot Dog? The white dog?
No.
So he has a dog named Hot Dog, anyways. Someone hit Hot Dog with a car and killed him. This is not a comic for children, because Hot Dog's, like, bleeding away here in Jughead's arms.
Jesus.
It's a horror comic. It's not...
Is this in Archie continuity?
Probably not. So, he's like, hey, gotta help him. I didn't know who else to turn to, right? So, her aunts try everything they can do, and nothing
I did
going
not know
right?
those two properties exist in the same universe.
They do. So, nothing going there. But Sabrina feels really bad for Jughead. Because, you know what? It's his pet dog. Plus, he kind of plays the sympathy card, like, you'd do anything for your cat, right? And,
Can't used to be a person.
I know! Which is funny. So what does she do? Let's go get the Necronomicon. And let's
things escalated quickly.
Let's bring Hot Dog back to life for poor old Jughead.
Are there no other pet stores in Riverdale?
Well, it's immediate grief. You can't just go buy a pet like that second and fix it.
But you can go find the Necronomicon that second?
It's in her house.
Oh, it's in her house?
They have the Necronomicon, yeah, locked up.
That can't go wrong.
So, anywho's, as you can guess, Hot Dog comes back alive.
Yay!
But not all is well. And as you read the book, there's a countdown to infection, which is pretty awesome.
Jeez.
So, Hot Dog comes back, and Jughead's like, hey boy, what's going on, or whatever, right? Boom, attacked. Hot Dog infects Jughead. And thus begins the Riverdale zombie apocalypse.
Way to go, you paper crown wearing bastard.
It is literally one of the best books I've read in quite a while. Like, it takes everything
zombie
you love
or
about...
otherwise?
Yeah, it takes everything you love about Archie, and just, it's perfectly done. It's got, Betty and Veronica banter, it's got Reggie and Moose and Jughead, everybody, and pretty much escalates it into an adult book about zombies. It's awesome.
Oh man,
I thought I'd just pick this up to try it out. It is now going on my bag. This book is amazing.
It's not a mini-series. It's
not a mini-series.
Wow.
No. It's like The Walking Dead in the Archie universe. It's pretty sweet.
I'm not the biggest Archie fan, but I don't know how I feel about this.
It's pretty sweet. I can't wait to see if Mr. Weatherby gets it.
Will Archie have to choose between Zombie Betty and Zombie Veronica?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in our ongoing saga with Afterlife with Archie. It's great. The artwork is beautiful. And
cool.
The covers are great. It's got this nice...
it feels weird.
Yeah, it's got this nice semi-cardstock cover. I don't know what you would really call it, but pretty cool. It's $2.99. You can't go wrong for $2.99. Try the book out. It's so good. It's dark, but funny. It's emotional because you feel for the guy and his dead dog. And, oh yeah. Great, great book. Everything you love about Archie. But
Plus zombies.
Plus zombies. For adults. Check it out.
Wow.
Check it out.
Whoa.
I give it a definite 10 out of 10.
Cool. I like it. It looks good.
Me too. So what did you read?
Well, continuing our trend of number ones for the week, I picked up Superman Wonder Woman, number 1 from DC.
Cool.
Charles Soule and Tony Daniel on art.
Cool.
And thankfully Tony Daniel is restrained to just the art as opposed to writing, because bigger fan of his art than I am his writing.
Yes.
The cover is actually really cool. It's a 3-panel kind of gatefold, and it's got Superman's supporting cast on one half and Wonder Woman's supporting cast on the other. So
I like
really
gatefolds.
Cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool, like going through, see if you can name everybody. If you get both titles, it's kind of easy to name them. But it's kind of funny, though. They got Bizarro and Hael on the cover, and they both have the reverse S logo on their chest, so it looks kind of funny.
That's funny.
But, yeah, as far as I've been looking forward to this book, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to pick it up, because it's another book,
yeah.
And it's like, is it worth adding this to my bag? But after reading this issue, I think this is gonna be a keeper.
It's a keeper.
I think it's gonna be a keeper. The story does jump around a little bit. They've got some individual moments with Clark and Diana separately, then some current adventuring with them, a little bit of flashes here and there. So it kind of jumps around a little bit, but not too much to be confusing.
It looks great.
Yeah, as I said, Tony Daniel just doing the art lets him focus on his work, and I don't know, he keeps getting better and better. And I know,
which is funny, eh?
Yeah, I think he's definitely getting up there, comparable to some of Jim Lee's work. And it's just gorgeous. The book is fun to read. The action scenes kind of have some big paces to them and big action beats going on. Like there's big things happening in the book. Now I don't know if that's going to be a continuing thing for the story or if
that would
it's
be cool.
punch for number 1.
You know what?
Here, blow it out.
Number 1s should have a punch though.
Yeah.
You got to keep you hooked.
Yeah.
You got to engage you.
There's some of the smaller, quieter moments with Clark and Diana, which is kind of nice. And one of the things, they keep kind of cranking out these weird things that Superman can do with his powers. Like, he can feel out the center of a storm, like the convection. He says, feel for the center of the convection engine, find it and cool it down. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's
what?
Weird.
I don't, like, how does all these powers work? Like, they keep seeming to tweak what his powers can do every time they need him to be in a situation where they need him to do something. And I'm not the biggest fan of that with the
without explanation.
Without explanation. It's like, this week Superman can do this. It's a little too golden age for me. Yeah. Where Superman can literally do whatever the hell he wants.
Push the Earth, around
the sun. Ultraman moved the moon.
I saw that.
So I kind of a little iffy about that. One of the things they do address in the book, which I really, really like, is Diana basically calls him out about being like a super powerful weapon, but he doesn't have any training. No one's trained him. Yeah. Because in this world, like, he hasn't been trained by Wildcat or Batman to actually be a fighter. So he's a super powerful weapon, but he doesn't know how to fight. So I guess that's going to be one of the overarching themes of this book, is Diana's going to be training Superman how to fight, which I think is going to be a cool thing to see, because I love those stories back in the old continuity with, like, Superman training with Wildcat. I always enjoyed. That'll be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing hopefully that little arc goes and plays out through the book. And they got little bits here and there with someone looks like they're going to be spoiling the relationship with Superman and Wonder Woman to the world. And I didn't know that our big bad was going to be who it is in this first arc. And I'm quite surprised by it. I don't know if I missed the article somewhere or I missed it.
Are you happy surprised?
I was, actually. It's been teased a little bit about this villain. We got a little bit of him during the Villains Month. Not exactly what we wanted during the Villains Month, but hopefully they pay off some more of the villain tease and actually have him play out nicely in this story arc.
Cool.
So I'm very happy with this book. I was very surprised. It's got some nice plot threads that hopefully they pay off down the road. It's got beautiful artwork by Tony Daniel. I can't remember any other books that I've read by Soule. I'm enjoying the writing. The layouts are really nice. Nice little surprise villain twists at the end. And just overall, a good book. It actually looks like the relationship between Clark and Diana is going to be explored in this book.
That's cool.
Because it sure as hell isn't in the other books.
I kind of like that it's a different dynamic than Superman Batman for once.
Yeah. I think that's part of the appeal as well to this book.
Yeah.
And it's another Wonder Woman book. I'm loving Wonder Woman in the New 52. I think she deserves to be a little bit more
prominent,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, based off this issue, I am definitely adding this to my bag, and I give it a solid 4.5 out of 5.
Cool.
Good, solid book. Great job for a debut issue.
2 pretty awesome number 1s.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
You got a trade review for us this week?
I do. As I stated last week, I got 2 here.
Ooh, follow-ups.
But one is a trade, but one is actually an original graphic novel, and I'm going to talk about that one first. It was probably the biggest trade/graphic novel release last week. It's Avengers: Endless Wartime by Warren Ellis and Mike McCone. It's a hardbound, oversized book, beautifully illustrated, and the story is fantastic. It's got some multiple viewpoints, sort of. You got Cap, you got Iron Man, you got Thor, you got a little bit of Wolverine thrown in the mix, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's really great. It takes some elements from Cap's past and Thor's past.
Is this an in-continuity story? Or?
It is an in-continuity story. It's like enemies they've battled in the past that come back to haunt them in the future, or current time, I should say.
It seems a little bit of a retread of a bunch of other
It does.
books, though.
The difference with this, though, it's really well written.
Yeah? Well, Warren Ellis, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
He does an excellent job. Like, this is an amazing book. It's so good. The really good thing you don't see in most Avengers books is it really shows you their personalities and what they're thinking and how they feel, more so than anywhere else. Like, you really...
I guess in this format they can take their time a little and not have
things. Yeah, and you get to... You feel what Cap's feeling, and you feel what Thor is going through, and Iron Man, how he feels, and stuff like this. It's really great.
I get the feeling, though, as great as they are, we tend to have a lot of those stories about those three.
I know. And
I think it'd be
that
cool
was the
to
one
have...
thing I did not enjoy the most about it. Because it's got the big 3 on the cover right there.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what you're going to get.
Exactly. And not that it's a bad thing, but I like the, let's call them second tier characters. I don't think they're second tier, but...
They're second tier because all we ever get, majority, is...
the big 3.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's well worth your money, even at a steep price of $24.99. You could probably buy it cheaper digitally, of course, but you should buy it. It is really... If you want a great Avengers story, this is the book for you. And I give it a solid 5 out of 5. A little pricey, but classic storytelling. It's great.
Excellent.
And I consider this the best trade of last week, and maybe one of the biggest, even though it came out from Boom Studios. Suicide Risk by Mike Carey and Elena Casagrande. Mike Carey, who's written Lucifer, The Unwritten, X-Men Legacy for many years, and lots of other fun stuffs. Breaks out a new superhero tale, but unconventional, unlike most on the stands today. It's like it's more like a procedural, a police procedural, because he is a cop, and there's a lot of cops in this book. It's about people gaining powers. There isn't like a whole lot of heroes and villains in the world, so people
like powers.
Yeah, there's eventually these powers start showing up, but most people, instead of using them for good, are using them for self-gain.
Like people would.
Yeah, exactly. Just like normal people would, probably. Because, you're tired of being poor all the time, and then, you got superpowers.
Ka-ching.
What will I do? Stay poor and fight the good fight? Or cash it in and, live a good life? Sort of. So, that's kind of what he does here.
I don't know. I still honestly think I would not do that.
But you don't know. You haven't been given that tempt yet, right? So.
Fifth Dimension Imps, if you're out there, give me a shot.
I know, eh? Cool story. there's also some like Hawkman reincarnation type things in here, which is pretty awesome. There's some goddess type stuff thrown in. There's all sorts of... It's kind of like one of those books like Saga where they just throw everything in it and see what works. And thankfully, everything does work in this book.
Nice.
So the art's beautiful. The writing is fantastic. I can't wait to continue reading this. It was only $10. Good price for a trade. Definitely worth your money. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Check it out.
Sweet.
Suicide Risk. We have a power panel this week?
We've got a power panel this week.
A PPP?
No. I was incorrect stating that my power panel of the week was going to come from whatever book I talked about last week that I thought it was going to come from. Yes.
Or All New X-Men.
Yes. I found a better one.
Did you?
Yes. This is from the final Earth 2 issue from James Robinson, Earth 2 number 16. It kind of pays off a bit more of the war that's going on between the World Army and Desaad.
Yeah.
Desaad? Yeah. And it's a cool, like, he's got his hunger dogs, they're fighting the wonders of Earth 2, and it's a great, great book. The cover is fantastic, like the propaganda poster on the cover. After reading the issue, the cover kind of even makes more sense. But Desaad is just about to kill off a couple of characters, and one of his hunger dogs turns on him, and the big reveal is that it's Superman.
Oh, yeah?
Now, they don't really specify if it's the Earth 2 Superman, because we know Darkseid's been jumping between multiverses and collecting Supermen. So we don't know if this is actually...
it could be any Superman.
It could be any Superman that's made his way to Earth. I mean, we don't really know. This Earth. But if it is the Earth 2 Superman, awesome. I mean, we've had our stories before where Superman's been corrupted by the powers of Apocalypse. But this was really, really cool. The way he dispatches of Desaad is one of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen in a mainstream comic book.
Yeah.
So, seeing as it came out last week, I'm going to tell you what it's about. Laser heat vision splits Desaad lengthways.
Oh, yeah?
And he pulls him apart at the same time while doing it.
Huh.
And it's a full page of just
And that's your power panel.
No, the power panel
Brutal
was the
death.
the power panel was actually the reveal.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's right there on the cover, but I admit I didn't see it. Like, he's got split curl and everything. And, like, I just didn't see it. And it caught me off guard, and it made me go, oh, while reading it. Because it's been, I think, 5 years in that world since the Wonders disappeared.
Yeah.
And if it is the Earth 2 Superman, it's a really cool thing to have him back in that world.
Cool.
If it is a Superman from another reality, also really cool. I'm just kind of upset that was James Robinson's last issue.
Yeah. And
seeing all the plot threads that he has in that book and not seeing them pay off, like finding out who the Earth new Batman is, and just seeing them form a team.
Yeah.
I wish James Robinson were back on it.
Cool.
So, but that was the power panel for last week.
PPP for the week.
Just keep saying it. It's gonna eventually stick. It's gonna be like the FF7
It's gonna
thing.
stick. It's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got a little bit of comic news. There's not a whole lot because everyone's
floodgates blow
everyone's
off the doors.
saving it. So next week should be a pretty big episode, I'm guessing. But we got a little bit of news. Most of it's from Dynamite this week because they're also going to be giving us a ton of stuff at the Comic-Con like Marvel. So first up, they're going to be doing not the biggest piece of news, but it's kind of neat. $6 Million Man Season 6. I don't know who was calling for that one.
Nobody.
Or asking for it.
Why?
Except for, people in their 50s and 60s.
Knight Rider.
Not that I don't like the $6 Million Man. I enjoyed that show when I was a child, so I don't really recall any of it. But, whatever.
Everything gets another season in comic book form now,
right.
So...
Yeah, it's kind of neat, which I kind of like.
Yeah, but that one, though?
Yeah. Also, we have... They've been doing some, I don't know if you noticed, some teasers similar to Marvel's teasers. The one word or whatever, and then the art team or the creative team. So right now they've done 2 teasers. I can't remember. I didn't write down what the words were because that doesn't really matter. But
no, it doesn't matter at all.
well, not until the books are announced, right? That's what matters. But anyways, one's going to be by Greg Pak, which is cool.
Nice.
And then another book with Fred Van Lente, who also teams up with Pak a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But so we got 2 teasers, possibly 2 new books coming out.
Cool.
We got a Conan and Red Sonja crossover coming up between Dynamite
First
and Dark
time that's
Horse.
happened.
Yeah. Well, at least lately.
Cross-publisher, yeah. That's
so,
cool.
by Gail Simone and Brian Wood.
Ooh!
So that should be really good. Another Dynamite Dark Horse crossover, Shadow vs. Grendel by Matt Wagner. That'll be a strange one, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be different.
I don't really see those two gelling all that well.
Yeah, I don't either. But Matt Wagner's been writing Shadow.
If it were Phantom and Grendel.
Maybe, yeah. But anyways,
Okay.
who knows? It's coming out. It should be... We'll see. And 2 little bits of DC news. I don't know if you noticed, there been rumors / the possibility of their next September event month.
Oh,
Did you hear
Lord.
about that?
No.
5 years later is their plan, supposedly. So they'll take every book and shunt them 5 years into the future and give us a whole month of those kinds of stories.
And then what? Shunt it back to
Shunt
current?
it back, I guess.
Well, what
Yeah.
happens when the books catch up and that shit didn't happen?
I have no idea.
Because they're not going to keep that story straight.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
No, don't be real.
I don't know how they're gonna do that. But that's the
1 year later was a success. Let's make one that's 5 times
know.
more successful.
Exactly. So
Oh,
we'll see how that pans out. We'll see.
no, DC.
And then there was...
Well, DC, thank you for saving me over $110 next September.
You don't know yet. You might be plunking down all of that money. You don't know. We'll see. And the last bit of DC news I got here, they also just announced, I think it was Monday. I know you probably saw it. 18-part crossover between Blight, yep, by JLD, Pandora, Phantom Stranger, and Constantine titles.
Yeah.
It's going to be, 4 months worth of books?
Yeah.
Something like that. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Actually, even more than 4
It's
months.
gonna be a
It'd
big
4.5
trade.
months. Yeah, or trades.
Trades, yeah.
Yeah. So, I
18
mean,
part seems a little excessive.
they're all actually not bad books.
They're not.
I really
good
love
books.
JLD.
Yeah.
And I have to catch up on the other ones still.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, 18 parts and starting in the middle of a Forever Evil crossover right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of excessive.
I know it's supposed to play into Forever Evil, but 18 parts worth.
Yeah.
It's a bit,
That's a big crossover, and that demands a lot of customers' money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a lot.
I like spreading it out over the books to get the thing done in time. The same they did with Trinity War. I like that mentality.
Yeah.
But 18 parts worth between
If
all
it had
those
been
titles.
8 parts,
Yeah.
that would have been more
Knock it out in
realistic.
2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's again like how Forever Evil is tying in and working in the universe. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because you've got a 7-part series.
Yeah.
But all the books are going to be 7 issues ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Where do they take place? It's very confusing.
Find out by the series end, I guess.
Yeah. Because none of the books now that are coming out that aren't in evil mode don't mention anything about Forever Evil.
Yeah.
So at least in the Avengers Infinity crossover, they're not on Earth. We kind of have an idea what's going on. But...
So, you purchased a toy today, did you not?
I did. This was a spur of the moment.
For lack of
purchase.
news, he's just going to talk about
Yes.
his purchase.
I picked up it's kind of an older release. Came out a year or so ago. It's the battle damaged RoboCop figure from NECA Toys. I didn't purchase the original one. I didn't purchase the re-release with the spring-loaded leg, but I did just buy the battle damaged one because they released the box art image for the Ed 209 figure that's
and you're
coming
getting
out.
prepared.
I'm getting prepared, so I'm building my diorama so I can have my Ed 209, my battle damaged RoboCop. It's the NECA one, not the Sideshow Collectibles one that I posted on my blog a few months back, because that's like $50. The Ed 209 from NECA is, I think, $50-$60, and it's in scale with the figure they already put out.
That should be pretty sweet.
So it's gonna be pretty awesome. I love RoboCop. I love Ed 209.
Will you be doing a singular review, perhaps, or a collected review?
You know what? Since they're gonna be displayed together, they're gonna be reviewed together.
All right, sounds cool.
So I think I might wait
they
on
make
that.
some great poses, I think, together.
Yeah. RoboCop on top of Ed 209 with a spike, maybe. It never happened in the movie, but it could be a cool pose.
It would be a cool shot,
yeah. It might end up just be like the classic RoboCop sideways gun out pose and Ed 209 there with a blown up arm. So
yeah.
I'm psyched. I've wanted an Ed 209 figure for a while, and I'm looking forward to this one coming out.
Cool. Yeah. So you got some video games for us?
We do. Got everything's kind of building, slow roll down from GTA. Still that is the big news of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our Pokemon XY coming out on Saturday, which I'm psyched for. I'm going to be on the road to Ottawa for Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping it's a 12:01 release on the 12th, so I can Wi-Fi my phone to my DS.
For you American viewers, that's Canadian
Thanksgiving. We get it earlier.
That's right.
Nom, 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 nom. So hopefully I'll Wi-Fi hotspot my phone, hook it up to my DS, and download it on the way to Ottawa, so I can roll in at like 2 in the morning and just be like partway through and have like a level 5 starter.
Yeah.
Maybe my Kanto starters. Fingers crossed.
Mm.
So that's gonna be my my Thanksgiving. It's gonna be running through Pokemon. So I'm so looking forward to it. I still haven't picked out which version I'm gonna get yet because I don't know which Charizard I want or which Mewtwo I want to get as my Mega Evolution. But we'll figure that out probably by the end of the week.
Cool.
There was a game they did release this week, probably the bigger game of the week, Beyond Two Souls by Quantic Dream. So people,
I heard of that.
Yeah, as people who know some stuff about the video game developers, it's by David Cage, who made Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, depending upon where you played it. Also did Heavy Rain.
Oh yeah.
Just bad games. Bad games.
Heavy Rain got some good reviews.
Heavy Rain lied to you. The game literally lied to you through the course of its story. And it's a bad game. They're more movies than anything. David Cage wants to be a filmmaker, but for whatever reason he's not.
Yeah.
So he makes his games into films. Indigo Prophecy or Fahrenheit, whatever, is a terrible game. It's ludicrous. One of my favorite YouTube channels, The Switcher, does a great playthrough of the whole game, and it's hilarious. I remember playing it when I was younger. I don't remember it being that bad, but watching it now, oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Beyond Two Souls is apparently more of the same.
Yeah.
Messed up, confusing story.
That's great.
Weird controls. Takes you out of the game just to show you a movie more so than letting you play a game.
Yeah.
So it's apparently the work by Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe was really good in the game. Their performances are supposed to be really good. Again, performances, not a game. So check it out at your own risk. There was also the first 5 minutes of Bioshock Infinite's new story DLC, Burial at Sea. No release date on this yet, so for season pass holders who are looking for actual story DLC, you still gotta wait. I kind of really want to play this because it takes Elizabeth and Booker and puts them into Rapture.
Cool.
And the trailer they released was actually the first 5 minutes of the game, including all the cuts, the dialogue, voiceover, and some little bit of gameplay. Apparently, the first half of the Burial at Sea, there's no combat, which mirrors what happened in Infinite, which is great because the combat was not very good in Infinite. It runs off of Infinite as well, so it's going to be the same type of combat. But going back to Rapture before the fall is really cool, seeing how all things kind of worked in Rapture, seeing, why there are big daddies in Rapture, what they do, what their function is. The first 5 minutes has so much, little bits of fan service kind of explaining it. I wish they had maybe spread it out a little bit throughout the course of the game, as opposed to, hey, you want to know why big daddies exist? This is why, background shot. So, okay, you want to know why there are little sisters they farm Adam with them? Here's why. Here's them being trained. Okay, don't necessarily put me all information in front of my eyes at the beginning of the game, or the DLC.
Yeah.
But, I might hopefully check it out. Maybe pick up a used copy on the 360 and kind of run my way back through it just so I can play the Burial at Sea version. Cool. But looking forward to that. I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah.
There's also I think this week the first episode of Telltale Games is The Wolf Among Us comes out.
Oh yeah.
Same guys that did the Walking Dead point and click-esque action adventure game. So that's, I think the first part of that comes out. We are playing the Fables world as Bigby Wolf. So
that's cool.
Steam's got a pre-order up for a discount now and all the parts. So I'm probably going to be doing that when I get home.
Wow. That's some good video game news.
Yeah, a little bit here and there. So I can't wait for Pokemon.
So we got a little bit of everything news.
A little bit of everything.
Now.
I am watching a new TV series.
Are you?
I am noticed on Netflix that Once Upon a Time had popped up. So I thought I'd check it out. And I'm kind of hooked on the show. I think I've gone through 4 or 5 episodes in a day a couple of times.
Season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the first 2 seasons up on there, so I think season 3 just started.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's not the greatest show in the world, but I like how they've taken the fairy tales and kind of done some cool little twists. It reminds me a lot of Fables, so I think that's why I like it so much.
I think why I don't like it so much.
Okay.
Because I'm a diehard Fables fan. I've read everything up to date.
Yeah.
And I just can't get over the fact of so many similarities.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It's the closest to... I don't know what's going to happen with Fables, with the movie and everything, but I'm enjoying seeing some of these cool characters that I like from stories and fairy tales on a TV show. And I'm enjoying something like the duality and the non-linear storytelling. I'm enjoying that part.
Yeah. I have seen some.
Yeah,
I have seen some.
The visuals and the special effects and the costumes aren't the greatest, but you can kind of get away with it since it's supposed to be a fairy tale.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't always look the best in costumes. The CG, the all green screen backgrounds are a little rough from time to time. But I'm enjoying the show. The biggest name in it is the girl from House, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Well, and it's got it's got her.
Robert Carlyle as well.
Robert Carlyle
is amazing. He's
the best part of the show.
He is fantastic.
Yeah.
He plays Rumpelstiltskin, and as Rumpelstiltskin, he's awesome, and as the human version in the real world as Mr. Gold, he's awesome. Yeah. He's definitely, like I said before, he's that character on the show that when he's not on the show, you're asking, where is he?
Yeah.
Because he's awesome. And the way that all these characters tie and interact with each other, and it's just, I'm enjoying the show. It's one of those, I'm not sure if it's a guilty pleasure show, I'm not quite sure if it falls into that range, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Well, that's alright.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but good for you.
Thanks, Geoff.
In a not related news, but in other TV news.
In unrelated news.
That's right. Doctor Who news. I don't know what we call them. Mythic missing episodes that have been lost for 50
Decades.
years. Yeah, 50, 40, 30 years. There's a whole bunch of missing episodes anyways. There's a lot.
BBC
A lot of them, have supposedly been found, but they have been denied, and people in the camp say yes, and people in the camp say no, and so on and so on. But anyways, supposedly this week, some will be announced. Don't know if that's true, or if it will happen, but we'll find out, I guess. So that'll be kind of cool. And now in related news, Matt Smith of Doctor Who fame.
This is so weird.
He's finished filming his last episode, so he's done, essentially, until the last episode airs. He will be starring in a new musical version of American Psycho. That should be interesting.
That is weird.
Should be interesting.
I love American Psycho. I love the book. I love the movie. Not so much the sequel. But
a
musical version?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be bizarre.
It will be bizarre. But
could be good.
Who knows?
Yeah.
In a sad bit of TV news for myself, because I watch it, but I know you do not watch it.
So I can check out.
The trailer for the last series of Misfits has just aired. Looks great. Can't wait. Fantastic show about people who gain superpowers through an accidental freak storm over in England, because it's a British show.
Yeah.
And the powers are, the way they use them, and some of the powers they get are very unique. It's great. If you want to see a show about people with superpowers, it's dramatic, it's kind of horror, it's suspenseful, it's funny, it's got everything. It's a great show. Last season is airing soon. Can't wait to watch it. It'll be a crappy day when it's not on the air anymore. You got anything else?
I got some web news.
All right, continue on.
We love web news. See that? Remember that Punisher fan film from a couple months ago?
I do.
That was based on Rucker's Run.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was one of the best fan films I've ever. It was like more of a teaser trailer than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was called like "The Dead Don't Remember." It was a line from Rucker's book, from the Punisher run, and it looked great. It had Frank with the beard, the eye patch, and it was really well done, really well received. People loved it. People were hoping to maybe see, I don't know, a Kickstarter version of it. I mean, they've done some Punisher fan films before. Thomas Jane did one.
Yeah.
But he got slapped with a cease and desist order from Marvel, so he's basically stopped because he's acknowledged the fact that they could crush him and ruin him financially if he went through with it. They're saying that this film could cause confusion. I don't know. Hopefully that means that they're working on some Punisher stuff. I don't know. It could just be Marvel defending its copyright. I don't know. I would love to have seen someone do something better than what we've gotten with the Punisher.
Yes.
And
wholeheartedly agree.
I'm hoping maybe this means that Marvel has something in the works for Punisher. Because they could easily do a Punisher movie on the cheap and make good money off of it. I know they want to keep it away from the Disney name being so violent, but I think the Punisher is a character that deserves something better than we've gotten.
It should be a franchise. It really should.
Yeah. I'd like to see, do movies under the Marvel Knights banner. You could do a cheap version, get them on the cheap, get, mid-level actors, just do a good story.
I look at it like, look how they did Blade. But your budget would be halved because you're not doing any effects or CGI stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
They took Blade out of obscurity. And those films, even though they weren't the best going, after the first, they were still good. Awesome. And they made a ton of money.
Yeah. And, Blade is responsible for what we get. If we didn't have Blade, we wouldn't have Avengers.
We wouldn't have any of this now.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, people think it was X-Men and Spider-Man. It was Blade.
Yeah, Blade brought it all back.
Yeah. So Punisher definitely deserves to be in a better films than he's been in. And like you said, it'd be a cheaper movie to do.
Agreed.
There was also news this week of a reboot. I'm holding off on being too super excited. They redid their name as Mainframe, and there's apparently going to be a new show. This is the second or third time they've talked about a new reboot show, so...
Does anyone really care?
Everyone cares.
Everyone
cares. I can't wait. I'm hoping this time, this is, like I said, second or third time this has happened and come back around. There was that trailer a couple years ago about the revival. Never happened. But they're back to being called Mainframe now. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. I want more reboot.
I do not.
Did you see the Carrie prank they pulled?
I did not.
They set up this fake telekinetic power thing in some coffee shop somewhere, and they had some girl freak out and lose her mind and pretend to pulled the guy out of the zip code and threw him through a wall and had the pictures shake and fall off the walls to put
That's
a
funny.
viral prank for Carrie. That's a little too far, I think.
I don't think so.
Well, it caused genuine terror among people.
That's good though. You gotta make waves. You must make waves.
There are better ways to make waves. I think this was a little too far. I think it was a little bit of...
Because everyone believes psychic powers are real.
If you were standing there, if you were going into your coffee shop that you had gone into for, 5 years, and all of a sudden this girl started losing her mind and started throwing people around the room with her mind.
Yeah.
And, people might not believe what they don't see. But if you suddenly see some dude go flying through the air because some chick was yelling at him...
I would be like, be my girlfriend.
Your wife might be a little upset.
Train me to use my mind as a weapon.
Geoff would throw himself at the altar of the psycho lady who's...
That's right.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit too much. You had a bit of sad news about your show. I had a bit of sad news about one of the things I've been looking forward to for a little while.
Oh, yeah?
The He-Man movie is delayed yet again.
Yeah.
And John Chu is now out as a director. I was happy with G.I. Joe 2. I think it was closer to the source material. Felt like a G.I. Joe movie, so I was looking forward to what he was going to hopefully do with He-Man.
Yeah.
Might mean he's going on to do G.I. Joe 3. Okay.
Maybe.
But the guy that wrote The Lone Ranger is now on board to write He-Man.
Cool. I can't wait now. So,
your love affair with The Lone Ranger boggles my mind.
Here's the thing. I believe I mentioned it before. I also wrote a blog post on it before. But The Lone Ranger is a damn good film. You haven't even watched it yet. So you can't really naysay.
Well, Quentin Tarantino agrees with you, so I think I should watch it.
Exactly! Quentin Tarantino released his semi-annual list, because he doesn't do one every year, but he puts out a list of
Really, semi-annual means twice a year, right?
Fine, whatever. His semi-regular annual list.
Buy Mon Sci-Fi Con!
Yeah. Anyways, he releases a list almost every year of his 10 favorite films. It's a little bit early because it's only October, but so far this year, The Lone Ranger is one of his favorite films of the year.
I really chalk that up to his pulp-natured growing up-ness.
I don't know, but for good reason. It was well-directed, it was well-acted, it was funny, it was dramatic.
Yeah, it was funny, alright.
You haven't seen it.
I know.
You don't know.
But
you don't know. It's a great movie. It keeps you hooked and entertained.
There are very few movies that are universally panned that are really good.
It was universally panned before it was even released.
And
that
then
was
after
terrible.
it was released.
No one reviewed it after it was released. Everyone just, I don't know. Didn't make sense. It did not deserve the hate it got. It's an awesome
I think
film.
it deserved at least, without seeing it, it deserved at least one piece of the hate it got.
I don't think so. Not at all.
Do you even know which one I mean?
I do know which one you mean.
And you're totally fine with it.
I am fine with that.
So there was no Native American actor they could have possibly cast in the role.
I know. That was one
Because Gore
little...
Verbinski wanted a paycheck, or Disney wanted a paycheck. They wanted to use Gore Verbinski's name.
Oh,
They wanted to use Johnny Depp to cash in on the Pirates fame. The first thing that it says, from the producers of Pirates.
Yeah, I know. I had no problems with it. They've been using white people to play other...
Yeah, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, but they've been doing it since the inception of movies. So...
And that makes it okay.
It's nothing new. Yeah, maybe they should have found someone like Graham Greene. I don't know. Somebody. Although he's a little old.
Anyone who was actually Native American.
True.
Just
but
not someone
didn't.
who thinks he's like 1/64th.
Yeah. Well, the fact is they didn't, and Depp did a good job. He did a good job.
Now, you gave me crap about my opinion being clouded by other people's opinions. There was a Movie Bob review that he did of this, and you know why Johnny Depp has that stupid crow on his head?
No.
His head? That doesn't appear anywhere in any of the original Lone Ranger things. It has.
Oh, I know. They changed all the makeup.
It's based upon a painting that Johnny Depp saw that thought was cool. Here's the thing: the crow is not a hat. It's the way the painting is staged.
Yeah.
Where it just happens to be above his head.
Yeah. I believe it.
And they put it in the movie because Johnny Depp said, this looks cool. And they're like, okay, cool, Johnny Depp's made his billions of dollars. Do whatever the hell he says.
It did look cool, though, and it was funny. It was a funny prop in the film. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's what you want about Native American culture in your movie. You want to make fun of it.
No, it's not. The movie's not about Native American culture in the first place. It's about the Lone Ranger, Gary.
Really? Because you couldn't really tell from how it was promoted. They could have called that the Tonto movie, guest starring some guy in a white hat.
I don't even know his name. The actor.
Armie Hammer.
Oh, that's right. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer? Armie Hammer.
I don't even... yeah.
Something like that.
He was almost Batman.
Was he?
It was going to be George Miller's Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, sure it was. With Common as Jon Stewart. Yeah. That would have been a great Justice League film. $200 million budget. We get Common and Armie Hammer.
The movie was fantastic. Quentin Tarantino agrees because he doesn't pay attention to no loser critics out there who prejudge movies before they've even watched them.
Or the loser critics who judge them after he's watched them. I will watch The Lone Ranger, and I will try my damnedest to find something I will like.
All right, good. So with that,
I will.
You can find Garry on his blog doing all sorts of cool things.
Yeah, I just had my Power Ranger review up in my new
saw that
figure.
Green Ranger.
It's pretty awesome.
And you can check out that awesome review and more at
The Shelf Life of Ragnarok.wordpress.com.
And Garry is also on Twitters
at the Ragnarok.
And you can find me on WordPress as well at The Telltale Mind. You can find me on Tumblr at mindmelds-home.tumblr.com. You can find us both on Facebook at the Pendulum Podcast. You can subscribe to our channel here and like all our videos and watch them all and enjoy them all and view them all and love them all and everything. Next week, it's going to be a big week. Lots of Comic-Con news.
Pretty much going to be a show about comics next week, I think.
Pretty much, I think, yeah. I'm going to read Lazarus Volume 1 by Greg Rucka for our trade review.
Excellent.
We're going to have some on-the-spot comic reviews, per usual. We're going to have another PPP. And lots of cool stuff. Yeah.
So happy Thanksgiving coming up to our Canadian listeners.
That's right.
Your American listeners also have a happy Thanksgiving if you're coming up here to Canada with family.
Yeah.
So enjoy. I'm going to be Pokemoning and reading Comic-Con news at the dinner table and angering my girlfriend's family.
I'll be raking leaves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, pumpkin pie. I can't wait.
I hate pumpkin pie.
I never had pumpkin pie until 2 years ago. Now I adore it beyond all belief. Pumpkin pie blizzard from Dairy Queen is fantastic.
Sick man.
Pumpkin pie scones. Oh, I love it. I can't.
All right. So I guess that wraps it up for this week.
That's it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Going nuts.